You know, I hate to be the one to say it, guys, but I think we actually make moves here in the CSGO scene. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to CSGO News. I am buzzing so much off coffee right now, and hopefully this episode is going to be a lot better than yesterday's episode where I did struggle, okay? It was a rough one, but thank you guys for getting through it, and welcome back to another huge episode out there in terms of CSGO News. The first story of which, guys, I think we make moves in the CSGO scene. I will do that because a couple days ago, or about a day ago, it was actually Leena, the president of TSM. I'm not sure of the overall dynamic of TSM. I believe Reggie, probably a familiar name to a few of you guys out there, actually owns the org, and then Leena, as the president, she runs the org as well in the teams. I'm not really sure the dynamic fully, but she tweeted out a random picture. I said CSGO team win, and within days, guys, actually I think within just a matter of hours, it was Deserto coming out as well as Leena herself with a little bit of a video for all of you guys about a future CSGO roster, and here is that video. I do apologize because it's very bad quality.
So CSGO is a really expensive project. It's like $1.5 to $2 million, maybe more depending on the staff that you pick up for your players. But I mean, yeah, we love CSGO. I love CSGO. It's just really expensive, so we're taking our time.
So as you guys can see, she does kind of come out and say, yes, it's very pricey for teams like League of Legends and CSGO, kind of expected, right? But she even gave us a ballpark range of 1.5, anywhere from 1.5 to $2 million for that CSGO team, and that is why they are taking their time. Unfortunately, after watching this video, of course, you know, all these teams out there, they could be lying to us, as a lot of teams have in the past. She seemed pretty serious, pretty believable, though, in terms of them taking their time. Based off that video alone, I can expect, or I'm guessing here, completely guessing, we're probably not going to see a TSM CSGO lineup for quite some time, at least probably not going to be for a few months, if not even longer than that. I just hope we see one in the end, and those were the updates. Yeah, you guys might be thinking, Jake, wow, you really clickbaited that thumbnail. And you'd be right to think that. But I had good reason, okay? I have not been doing clickbait, and I wanted to see how it actually went. So that's actually some pretty cool information coming forward from TSM. It's probably going to be quite some time. But bouncing off that, some very interesting information out there as well, as many rumors currently in the CSGO scene. It's been very cool to see ever since a couple of years ago. If you guys do remember, Astralis had that video on YouTube that kind of went pretty viral about them bringing a psychologist into the game itself. And ever since then, teams have not really caught on. I'm going to assume, I think Liquid with their facilities, they might have a psychologist. I know they have chefs, they have facilities, they have a lot of things out there, but it is now 2 new teams. You know, remember, it was actually late last week, Navi announcing their brand new dietologist or dietitian, as well as psychologist, and now it's actually Jens Hoffer, formerly of NIP, joining Fnatic as their mental coach. It's been pretty crazy in the last week alone. We see these teams now following the Astralis path, and I am very, very curious how these things will actually affect these teams' gameplay, and will it make them better? Because when you think of teams out there that were in need of a mental coach, you know, Fnatic and Navi would certainly have been 2 of my top teams out there. Yes, there are plenty of teams that probably need them, but they are definitely 2 that I would actually, you know, really suggest a mental coach upon. So I'm very curious how this will affect things in the future, and will these 2 teams then become the Astralis powerhouse? Yeah, it's a stretch, obviously, right? But it's very cool to see at least teams like Navi, like Fnatic, making those changes and those attempts, and we're certainly going to see what path they do go down, and if these players can improve, all based around psychology, which is pretty crazy when you think about this game itself. And that's literally why I tweeted this morning, guys. If you want to get a job in esports, it is incredibly tough to find. I mean, obviously there's a variety of jobs out there, but you know, finding one that you can actually have a secure job in, I would suggest to all of you guys, if you're going to university, going to college, wherever you are, study psychology, you know, get into esports psychology, join these teams. A lot of teams out there are starting to apparently go on this psychology approach or psychologist approach. So it'd be cool if any of you guys watching now, you know, you enter that field and all of a sudden you're on a team that you once were a fan of. Anyway, bouncing off that as well, just rumors right now. I reached out to Fishy Dude as well. We'll see if we can actually confirm this for maybe next video, guys. It's actually according to Overdrive, who has followed this scene very closely. He's known for a few of his tweets out there as well. A simple tweet, a simple rumor, where apparently Navi Academy is now a thing. And if this actually happens, I am super confused where the Academy future is. I thought we were done with academies, right? Gambit formerly had theirs. Fnatic was the most notable of one. I don't think any team out there had a successful Academy roster outside of Fnatic, and they had some lucky wins at events that had large prize pools and very few teams, and eventually all those Academy teams, well, they went away, right? There was a conflict of interest, and there just was no need. Like, no team was actually drawing up Academy players like we see in League of Legends, and it just seemed like a thing that was never really going to work out out in CSGO, and unless there was a more structured approach to it. And now within the past week, just like Psychologists, we have Gambit announcing their youngsters roster, which might as well be an academy roster, and then based off this rumor, if it is true, another CIS academy roster, this time for Navi, which I am super like, what is going on? But either way, it will be very cool because Navi, of course, has the money. You know, Gambit obviously probably has less money than Navi, so I'm really kind of questioning who they will be signing, and if they do sign an academy roster, will they be one of the first teams out there to actually pull up younger players to replace players that are leaving, aka Zeus, if he does in the future, in fact in 2019, leave that roster? Will they pull up a young IGL from their academy team? So very cool to see that happening if it does come true. Who the heck is Navi going to sign? And also in CSGO news, I'm not sure if you guys want this stuff. I tweeted out a poll asking if you guys wanted me to mention this stuff. Maybe I'll make it side stories out there. It was Maikelele. This dude's had a heck of a ride, okay, over the past 2.5 to 3 years. I've talked plenty about him on the channel. He talked about NASA last night on Twitter. He talked about the moon landing and how he wasn't really trustworthy of NASA. And you guys, man, you guys went off the rails to the point where he deleted these tweets, all of them. So I only have a few screenshots for you guys of the tweets he did send out. Pretty much the basics were he thought the moon landing was faked and he didn't trust NASA, and so on and so forth, which I'm not really going to share my opinion here, but man, you guys went off on the guy. The poor lad deleted his tweets, and apparently he's not going to share his opinion on the moon or NASA anytime soon in the future. So much to the point where even Lecro and everyone else are tweeting out and making fun of it himself. Man, rough times. If you guys want this stuff as CSGO news in the future, I can include them as side stories, but you guys could be really mean people, you know? And then very lastly, thanks to my friend TGC. He himself is a UK member. Let's have a UK CSGO segment every video. I think we'd all enjoy that. Would you guys like that? Very lastly as well, just some tweets brought to us. I'm only mentioning this because it's actually between two players, one being Brody and one being Stanley. Stanley spent a couple of months, I think back in 2018, on Ghost Gaming, so a bit relevant here in UK CS. It's always a bit fun to touch on. It actually starts out with Stanley, you know? He takes to Twitter, said he had a bad day, had a North American day on the server, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Brody replies with a seemingly simple GIF, right? And then it kind of just broke out from there. Stanley responds eventually to someone who said, Brody, question mark, and Stanley brings up his body shape and his hairline. And then Brody fires back and says, he kind of mentions Stanley's drug use, and then shows, of course, one of his score lines. Things are getting pretty personal here. And then very lastly, we have, it's actually Stanley firing back one more time, saying you wouldn't say these things in public. You wouldn't say these things to my face. And that concludes this segment of UK CS drama. Bite, bite, bark, bark. Woof, woof. I would just love one day to have a studio set up where I can actually have these guys call in and, have an interview back and forth between the two guys of what just went down. I think that would be really fun. So in the future, make note of it. I would love to have that to happen, you know. I'd have Stanley right here, Brody right here, in my ears, of course, not actually here in the studio. I think I'm high on caffeine right now. But as always, hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you for the great support over the past few weeks. It's been a crazy ride, and yeah, I will be doing a giveaway on Twitter, by the way, if you guys want to stop by my Twitter as well. I'll be giving away some arthritises. I'm going to give away 3 of those to all of you guys who are watching or actually on my Twitter. So as always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy. I'll see you back here tomorrow or sometime soon, at least Monday, breaking down Blast Pro Miami. There's actually mini tournaments out there this weekend. We're going to see some brand new lineups. So I hope you guys all enjoy, and until next time, take care, drink coffee, drink coffee, drink coffee.